Hello, American comrades. I have prepared this video to help inform you on what is happening on our side during this time. You do not need to know who we are. Let's just say we are in a position that we can get you information on anything that is happening, even top secret things happening in our government. You do need to know that we're doing this to help you and your country. We have masked our identities in case it gets into the wrong hands. Do whatever you need with this information.
The United States stands at this time at the pinnacle of world power. It is a solemn moment for the American democracy, for with this primacy and power, it is also joined in awe, inspiring accountability to the future. You must feel anxiety lest you fall below the level of achievement. Opportunity is here now, clear and shining for both countries. To reject it or ignore it, or further away, will bring upon us all the long reproaches of the aftertime. I believe we shall prove ourselves equal to this severe requirement. I have a strong admiration and regard for the valiant Russian people and my wartime comrade, Marshal Stalin.
We have set up a spy camera in Comrade Stalin's office, and we have some footage of him talking to one of his comrades after hearing about this speech.
The capitalists have set in motion their plan to take control of all of Europe and eventually the world. The speech is only the beginning. Soon they will take even further steps to secure the rest of Europe. You will see, my friend. You will see.
The United States is the only country in the world today which has the economic power and productivity to furnish the needed assistance. To be quite clear, this unprecedented endeavor of the new world to help the old is neither sure nor easy. It is a calculated risk. It is a difficult program. And you know far better than I do the political difficulties involved in this program. But there's no doubt whatever in my mind that if we decide to do this thing, we can do it successfully. And there's also no doubt in my mind that the whole world hangs in the balance as to what it is to be.
You know what this is?
No, Comrade Stalin.
This is a capitalist plot to take Europe away from us. They're trying to make sure that we cannot spread the joy of communism with the world. They are mocking us. They are mocking our government. They don't think we can do it. They think we need their help. Well, that is where they're wrong. We need to reject their support everywhere we can.
As you know, after this, Stalin started the Berlin blockade.
What are these tanks here for?
Well, these tanks are here to protect you from the English capitalists.
What was that?
Yes, supplies!
The drops are getting bigger and bigger, and we're still unable to make their help unnecessary. The people of Berlin seem to be starting to like the capitalists better.
Call off the blockade. They want this fight.
It is here today we start the North Atlantic Treaty Organization to help better the world and save it from communism.
Yes, we saw before in the blockade that the Soviets want to make sure we can't show the people that our way of life is better.
Stalin, don't you feel it would be better if all of Korea was communist?
Yes, I want to spread our communist ruling, but going into war will only bring support to the U.S. and NATO. We don't want communism to be portrayed as violent. We will provide economic and some military support, though.
Fine then.
Your country's men want to stop North Korea, to help stop the spread of communism. They was fighting for over 3 years. Luckily, your American men came to save South Korea just in time. The Soviets were not happy about that. Comrades, war has broken out in Vietnam. You should do there what you did in Korea and stop the spreading of the communism. Or even better, you can defeat the communism there and push the Iron Curtain back.
Как вы можете видеть на недавней агрессии во Вьетнаме, мы должны сформировать альянс, чтобы защитить наш образ жизни. Капиталисты страдали договоров. Для того, чтобы уравновесить эту силу, я чувствую, что мы должны сделать договоров о наших собственных.
I know this might be a bad time to tell you, but I thought I should let you know
The Soviet Union has created an alliance with Albania, Bulgaria, Czechoslovakia, East Germany, Hungary, Poland, Romania. Not only does this make them stronger, but it gives them a defense. These states will act as a buffer which will prevent people like you from getting to the Soviet Union. This is something that they will use to their advantage.
I was just informed that we have sent a satellite into space. Sputnik, they call it. The U.S. should take some actions to balance this power. If the Soviets are sending satellites right now, they could be sending weapons in the near future. You need to start developments of your own spacecrafts, ones that are more powerful and more efficient than the Soviets. By making your own spacecraft, you will show the Soviets that you are the one who is more powerful.
You have failed at your attempt to stop communism in Cuba. Something that is very important that I found from my own country is that the Soviets are sending missiles to Cuba. You need to get ready because the Cubans will have a great advantage over you. With their position and the supplied missiles, they will be able to hit almost any spot in the United States. I fear for you, Americans.
Many of the people of Berlin have made the same decision I have, and are now trying to get away from communism. Khrushchev didn't like that, so now he made himself an iron curtain of his own. Except this isn't an iron curtain, this is a concrete wall. The Vietnam War has ended, and the Soviets are rejoicing. Now Vietnam is just one more country that has fallen to communism. Like many of these other wars that you have had, they're just doing this as a way to expand their power and not to help the country at all. The way they see it is the more countries they have surrounding them, the harder it is for their enemies to get to the source of communism and destroy it once and for all. The Soviets are trying to build up their military power to match yours. With their ignorance, they have spent all of their money on weapons and not food. People have to wait such a long time just to get the food that they need, but it will still barely feed their families. They cannot sustain this amount of spending for much longer without people starting to question the Soviets.
The Soviet Union has a new face again. This was the first one that was born into communism. His name is Gorbachev. He actually seems to care about making our country a better place. He has started a new policy called Glasnost. For the first time, people who realize that communism is an inferior way of life can criticize it without fear of punishment. Gorbachev's reforms aren't working. Our country still isn't producing enough food. We didn't even have enough money to continue supporting the countries that are in communism only because we were going to give them money. This is probably be a good thing for the NATO countries. With the Glasnost policy, many of the Soviets are finding out that capital. It is October of 1990 and Germany is once again reunited into one country. Less than a month ago, East and West Germany met with the Soviet Union, the United States, France, and United Kingdom in Moscow to settle the 2+4 agreement. A year ago, the Berlin Wall fell. The people of East and West Berlin celebrated, but the capitalist nations. The U.S.S.R. split into 15 individual nations. The wars fought among them and the arms race have left them drained. I caution you with your actions towards them. We are now the only superpower and most likely feel very threatened. Do not repeat what happened with Germany after World War I.